Welcome in the Sports Edge, powered by SportsHandicapper.com. And here he is, king of the world. New lights on the fish tank. It's my man, Sealy McNeely, the champ of the Westgate. I heard you spent like $3,000 on the lights.
I don't give out price tags. No, there were $60.
What is that? What is that screen I'm seeing? Is that a new screen?
Where?
Right behind you.
This?
Yeah.
That's like a little.
The hell is that?
It's like a little. What are they called?
iPad?
Yeah, it's not an iPad. It's like a Pro or something.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
The family's around. Jamie, by the way, is on assignment. He decided to he became the Queen's groomer. He was like helping the Queen like clean up after herself and do her hair and makeup for the Jubilee. So Jamie will be back from Bloody Old England next week. But I do want to say this once again, Seal. Joaquin Neiman in the mix until the end, basically. Last week at Jack's place at Muirfield in the Memorial. 4, including, I gave Zalatoris myself, but including Jamie's picks, 4 in the top 10, and then ended up in the top 12. He's on top of things, as he always is, and I feel like an outright is due. We're a week away from the U.S. Open, so please check out ScratchCaddy.com. But this week, I wanted to relay his picks. For one, I got one that Jamie didn't have. I have Tony Finau at about 30-1, but he likes Tyrell Hatton, Sebastian Munoz, and Brendan Todd at the Canadian Open. You've been excited with the golf stuff lately, Seal. I know you and me watch. Jamie doesn't. He doesn't like to get he doesn't want to jinx anything. He doesn't watch to the final moments on a Sunday.
Yeah, I don't know why he waits so long, but where are they playing in Canada? What part?
They're playing out right out on the edge of Toronto.
No, okay.
You know that a Canadian hasn't won the Canadian Open. I think it's 1961 or something. It's been a long time since a Canadian actually won the Canadian Open. It should be a lot of fun. We're having crazy fields compared to many years in the past, weeks before or after a major, and this is another top-level field. And I think there's definitely some value in guys like Munoz at a nice price. Brendan Todd, we talked about Tyrrell Hatton around 30 to 40-1, and I like Tony Finau too. So good luck with Jamie's stuff. Please check out Scratch Caddy. He's got all the worksheet and everything on there. Does hours of work for you and continues to bang a lot of guys that obviously have won over the last couple of years outrights, but top 5s, top 10s. He has matchups on there. So please check out his stuff at ScratchCaddy.com. But we got your site, SportsHandicapper.com.
What's that? Do they have grass up there for golf?
You like marijuana?
No, like regular grass to play on.
Why would they not have grass in Canada?
It's a little cold up there. I mean, do they have grass?
Seal, it's like the same temperature it is here.
Do they...
I know it's tough for you not to be dumb sometimes, but just stop. and you're wearing a really appropriate shirt for a kid for shows with the F word on it. So thanks a lot for that. What's your hat? Is that an Inspin hat?
No, I think that's my son's college, Arcadia.
Oh, Arcadia. I heard he failed out at Arcadia.
Graduated with a double major.
Double major in idiocy and snacks?
In 40.5 years, baby.
What were his degrees?
Education, English.
I mean, Mini Seal is he's a great dude. Except he did lose a tremendous amount of money on the 2020
What did he
election.
graduate with?
And he should have listened to me.
I'm sorry, he graduated with his master's.
Well, he had a double degree too, didn't he? From undergrad?
It's just a master's in English.
That's funny because he doesn't really know how to talk.
4.5 years is the key. 4.5 years.
It's amazing because he got a master's in English, but he doesn't know how to talk.
But he only had a 4.0.
Only a 4.0. That's it.
That's it.
So if you had to, I know this isn't a possible question, and we saw our girl Livers and Onions floating around with her beautiful hair a little while ago. Maybe we can get her back for a minute. If you had to decide what kid was the smarter kid, who would you say it was?
Oh, that's not even a question.
How does Livers feel about that?
I mean, Livers is sitting with a 3.7 after 1 year.
That's not terrible.
No, but I mean, she's on the dean's list, but she's nowhere. She's not even my son.
I'm very proud of Livers and Onions for being on the dean's list. It's not easy to do.
I think she has 4.0 on Instagram and TikTok. But
oh yeah, I gotta actually get some. I gotta talk to Livers about some TikTok stuff. But Seal, let's talk. We got NBA Finals going on, of course. I know you kind of stayed away from basketball. I just wanted to, before we get into some baseball stuff, just get your feeling on the finals. I know you mentioned to me when we were getting ready for the show, you believe it's going to probably go 7 games, but Have you been interested at all? I mean, you're someone that's been so successful in the NBA, but you kind of really didn't get involved in the playoffs, which is you don't just bet to bet or get picks out to get picks out. What have you been interested at all in the NBA playoffs? Anything kind of stuck out to you, the NBA Finals, etc.?
No, I mean, if people don't think they can get the line right after how many games did they play this year?
Yeah, in the hundreds if you're in a playoff.
100 with counting playoffs and exhibition games, and they're over 100 games. I think they know what the line is. They open these numbers up and they close what they open. They don't move.
Yeah, the lines for the finals have been incredibly stagnant. I mean, 3.5 is the line for, we're recording on a Wednesday for game number 3. Games 1 and 2, I think the line may move a half point here or there. And to be honest, for game 3 coming up on Wednesday night, I was looking at some of the betting splits. Over 75-ish% of the money is on the Warriors, whether money line or spread. And same thing with the amount of tickets, based on the different sports books. And yet the line isn't moving. And that's because, like you said, Seal, it's like they know what the line's going to be, and they're going to let you kind of have at it. So that's probably, I think, to explain to people out there, for someone like you that's been so successful in the NBA for years, why you definitely don't really bother with the playoffs, because there's no way to kind of juice the number or get an advantage on the number, because they basically never really change that much.
No, there's no value. I mean, if you take 3.5 on Golden State, the closest 3.5, there's no value. You're just betting. I mean, if you want to take 3.5 on an NBA game, you want it to close like 2.5. At least you have a little value.
Well, think about
these numbers. Even the total hasn't even moved.
Nope. The total moved to half point. I was shocked because I like the over actually in game 3, and it was 212.5, and it's down to 212 in some spots. But yeah, there's a 80% of the actions on the over, and yet the line's moving to the under. So I'm wondering, when you look at where we're at now in baseball, and we talked last week about run lines and how that can be, or first 5 innings, how that can be an advantage to your bankroll. And today I wanted to kind of throw out team totals, because you've been betting a lot of team totals and giving them out, and I think you actually won all of them except for one. There was that stupid Cubs game on Sunday Night Baseball that they missed by a half, or obviously by a run. You gave out 3.5. But tell people out there why team totals are just another important thing to have in your arsenal that can help your profitability.
No, if you lean to the over in the game, but you're afraid that maybe one team is not going to hit the other starting pitcher, you look to the team total and see if there's value. I mean, for instance, today I bet the Yankees team total over 4.5, which I rarely do that much. I really look to go over 3.5 or 2.5. Believe it or not, some team totals are 2.5.
Right.
But when the games are over 200, but if the total closes 9 over, and the Yankees are 70 cents on the road, 4.5 is kind of cheap when you think about it.
Well, and that line, you gave it out early on Wednesday, and the line, at least from what I'm seeing in multiple places, is already 5. So that obviously, the line rarely moves in the direction you don't bet it on. But I think that it's like, you mentioned, and kind of, I'll bring up a correlation that I was taught by our good friend Starsky years ago when it comes to college football. If you're taking a huge underdog, like a 40-point underdog, that's what you probably want to, lean on the over in a let's say it's like Alabama versus, I don't know, Jacksonville State or whoever, and they're minus 40 and the total is like 50, whatever it is. If you're leaning on the underdog, that's where you would go over. If you're
if you're laying the 40, you want to bet over.
Right, that's what. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. That's what I meant. If you're laying the 40 on the big favorite, if you're taking the underdog, you want to look at an under. Right. Because you're hoping that it's obviously the underdog doesn't score a lot and that the favorite doesn't score a lot either. So I remember teaching you that years ago, and you brought that into the discussion with the team totals, because like you mentioned, let's say there's on one theory, one of the teams you don't think is going to hit the pitching very well, and the total's 8.5 or 9, something like that. The other side of things, let's say you like a team to score a ton of runs against a certain pitcher, and you get a 3.5 or a 4 team total line. That's where it's definitely valuable for you to be able to look at the different options you have and not just take a side or take a total, because the best value out there might be a team total.
Yeah, that's the way I do it. I mean, like, for instance, I bet over in this game too, over 8.5. But little trepidation because nobody's been hitting this Cortez for the Yankees. I think Minnesota will hit him a little bit, but if you look at his numbers, I mean, it's scary how he's not giving up anything. I mean, literally nothing. But he might get hit a little bit tonight. So we'll see.
How do you feel about my Tigers? By the way, a couple wins in a row against those great Pirates.
Yeah. How do you feel about Baez? What's he hitting?
Baez, I believe, is hitting. I think he's hitting the same amount that Gas was in 1974. Hey, listen, I love Baez because my nephew, in the O's, it's his favorite player, and he was a fan of Baez when he was with the Cubs before he came to Detroit, and he actually dressed up as him multiple times for Halloween at different, holiday parties. But Baez is good for like driving in a run here or there, or hitting a home run here and there, but he has been so inconsistent, and his batting average is garbage. The Tigers haven't been great either.
Not worth the money they gave him. I told you that when they signed him. He's not.
Yeah, but listen. Let's say he's still can be a quality player. Let's say the Tigers are the kind of team that I think they can be in the next couple of years with their young guys, with the Mizes and the Jackson Jobs, and obviously the Torkelsons, etc. And Baez becomes a guy that really can produce like he did for a couple of years with the Cubs. This is a guy that obviously helped the Cubs reach very, very high heights. But yes, for the Tigers, the whole Tigers lineup has been garbage this year for the majority of the time as far as batting average and driving in runs. The bullpen obviously has been great, but the batting, has been terrible. But I think the Tigers have a chance with an extra wild card seal if they get some guys like Mize and others off the injury list, and Cabrera can contribute, and you still have this great bullpen. With the way the American League Central is going, and there's no really great team except for the Twins right now. The White Sox are struggling. They could make a late season run to possibly at least make it exciting in August for a wild card spot. But this isn't I never said this was the year. This was the year where they had to kind of try to move forward, and then next year's the year they could be a wild card or division contender.
Yeah, I agree. And they're doing it. A lot of the pitchers are on the DL. Almost.
Yeah. Mize just got put on the 16-day IL.
Who did?
Casey Mize, like a week ago.
Yeah, he's done. You won't see him this year. He's finished.
I don't know if he's done, Seal.
Done.
Is he done like your Westgate ring?
He'll be getting Tommy John surgery, sure enough.
I sure hope not. Well, Tommy John's not a death sentence anymore.
He's done.
But let's talk about baseball and what we're seeing. We talked about this over the last few weeks. As the weather's heated up, we're seeing obviously a lot more runs. Obviously, you've been heating up, and you're always very successful in baseball. Anything else? I think it's been fascinating, our discussion on bullpens and why so many games were going under, and you kind of laid out. Listen, these days, first off, guys aren't trying to hit, to produce runs that are manufacture runs. They're just trying to hit for power. But also, these bullpens have been so good that they're opposing teams aren't scoring a lot of runs. Obviously, that's changing as the weather gets warmer. But anything else that you kind of been seeing that maybe is starting to trend a certain way as we get here into June and get towards the All-Star break?
I'm surprised the first two managers that got fired were in the same series over the weekend.
Yeah, I think the fact the Angels fired Joe Maddon is ridiculous. I have a lot of friends that are Angels fans, and listen, the guy lost 12 in a row. I get it. But Joe Maddon is clearly one of the best managers in Major League Baseball over the last 30, 35 years. What he did with Tampa Bay, just a guy, he really is a smart, analytics-based, momentum-based manager. And to fire him less than 2 years in, the Angels don't have a good team. Yeah, they've got Mike Trout and Ohtani and some others, but they're not constructed that well. Is it his fault? Joe Maddon, I don't think it's his fault.
I don't think it's his fault. First of all, ever since they signed Rendon, he's been hurt more than he's played. Right. That's hurt him. He's on the DL again. Trout hurt his groin last night. They've had some injuries. Their shortstop and second baseman can't hit their weight because their shortstop's on the DL too. They're a weird team. Their bullpen's not that good. Their starters surprisingly have been better than they're supposed to be so far. Not even talking about Ohtani. They've gotten some decent. A couple lefties that pitched okay for him. Sandoval and the guy going tonight, Detmers.
Sandoval's been really good.
Yeah, I wouldn't have fired him, but who knows?
Their ownership, from what I've heard, is kind of wacky. Their ownership group and
they're a little
kind of wacky.
A little bit, and that phenom they had come up, Joe Adele, he hasn't done anything. They
Right.
sent him down a couple times already. He was supposed to be the next great player, and all he does is strike out. So I don't know.
Any other teams? You know, you look at the Mets and obviously how successful they've been recently, and we know the Yankees are one of the best teams in baseball. Are there any teams you've been looking at that you could see over the next month or so leading into the All-Star break that maybe have kind of been off the radar? I mean, I still believe the Padres, especially they got to get Tatis Jr. back. I still believe the Padres can win the World Series. I got a futures on them. I think it was 20-1 before the season. Are you looking at, because you listen, people don't know this. We discuss this on the show all the time. Seal's up 4 a.m. You know, he might not make a play that day, but he's always looking and handicapping and doing different stuff. You look at all different teams and all different box scores and everything that's going on. And I have a lot of respect for you if you do that because it's not easy. I mean, I'm always up too, but I'm not pouring through box scores in baseball. What are some teams maybe that might start turning things around or vice versa?
Well, I agree with the Padres, but they're still playing well without Tatis. When they get him back, they're going to take off. That's a team right out of the lineup. I like that team. I like their starting pitching. Their bullpens, they need another piece maybe. They got a couple guys that were hurt that are coming back soon. They're wanting the White Sox if they ever get their players back. I mean, now Tim Anderson's on the DL. God, we don't know how long he's going to be out for. He's a great player. Nobody even knows about him. He just flies under the radar.
Well, we know about him here in Detroit because he's killed us a million different ways.
He's a great player. He's on the DL again. If they get him back and Jimenez, and they've had a tough time with injuries, the White Sox. But I still think if the Angels ever get healthy, I think they're going to hit like crazy. I wouldn't count them out. I think Oakland's dreadful. I mean, they're never. I mean, they can't hit. Their bullpen's really good, surprisingly, but they can't hit. They just can't hit. I mean, St. Louis keeps winning. I like their team. I like that rookie second baseman they brought up, Nolan. Gorman? What's his? He hit about 3 home runs already. That guy can mash. Former number 1 draft pick, I believe, or was he second round?
Yeah, Gorman has been incredible for them.
Yeah, I mean the Yankees have the best record in baseball. Their bullpen's been tremendous, and they're doing it without the lefty hasn't pitched once for them all year. The guy from the Orioles, he's been hurt a lot lately, and Chapman's on the DL, but they're still getting great pitching out of their bullpen.
The only bullpen that's basically been better than the Tigers in the American League has been the Yankees, and the Tigers are obviously 15 wins less.
Houston's playing great. Houston's getting great pitching.
Yep, they are. Houston is the kind of team, to me, that is built unlike a team like the Angels or the White Sox. I mean, the White Sox, as you mentioned, have a lot of injuries too, but they're built to win a World Series. Not that those other 2 teams and some others we mentioned are not, but I just feel like the Angels poorly constructed overall. I mean, there's other teams that have obviously issues. The Mets are a team that obviously seems like maybe they are constructed the right way to go on a long kind of run. But the Astros, they've been doing this since they won. I mean, for years, even before they won the World Series. The way that they're able to put together teams top to bottom, whether it's bullpen, whether it's defensive metrics, whether it's the way they're able to hit. The Astros, I mean, they might not have the best record in baseball, but they are definitely one of the top 4 teams with the best chance to win the World Series right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And everybody said they lost Carlos Correa, blah, blah, blah. But the rookie's playing great for him.
Oh, yeah. He's playing. I think his WAR it's not as good as Correa's was, but it's not far off.
No, he's playing very well.
Were there some – oh, go ahead.
San Francisco's been a little disappointing, but they've had a million injuries. San Francisco's been beaten up.
They've had a million injuries for like 3 straight years.
Well, they've had a lot more this year.
Yeah.
They're really beat up. I actually like Seattle, and I'm waiting for them to get a couple more guys back. Their lineup should be not bad. I really like Seattle. I know they won a lot of games last year with a terrible run differential, but I can see them in the second half of the season. I like that team. I like Seattle.
I always love hearing different teams you're looking at because there's no one that knows more about this stuff than you. And I wanted to throw up the live in-spin odds here. I know we only have the one play we talked about with the Yankees. Well, you have the over in the game as well, but were there other games? I always like to ask you what games you were looking at, and obviously not making an official play on, but with a full slate here on this Wednesday as we record in the afternoon. Any other games you were kind of toiling around with?
Cleveland over 7 is almost not in love with the weather there. Wind's blowing in from right. I don't really like betting over there with the wind blowing in from right.
Yeah, Cleveland's a weird park to take it over.
I would go over 7 there, but I'm not doing it. But that was a possibility. And it'll probably be 5-3 in a second.
Well, no, it will probably be 4-2 in the second. And I'll text you and be like, game's dead. It's dead.
That's the only thing I was maybe
Seal will give out like a total. He'll give out like over 7.5, and there'll be like 6 runs scored in the first inning. Yeah, we're dead. I'll call him in the second. I'm like, Seal, you're a genius. And then we're dead. Yeah, I'm sour. Dead. It's like you can't. It's like you're so good, but you can't even enjoy how good you are. I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm a masochist, sadist.
You are, but you have a great family, and I love them all. Get livers and onions in here before we get out of here. I want to see how the sports handicapper chick's doing.
Livers. You coming on?
Maybe she's making a TikTok. Before we go, though, let's talk about what's going on in your fine city and a movie you must. Well, obviously, it's not going on the second, but the new Adam Sandler movie, Hustle, was filmed in and around Philadelphia, and I thought about you last night. There she is. Sports hit. Wait, you changed your hair already?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
I'm going hookahing tonight.
Ooh, are you excited?
Yeah.
All right, tell all your amazing fans that love you what's up with Sports Handicapper Chick.
We gotta get it. We gotta get it up and rolling.
No, I'm just saying in general. Don't worry about the website.
Oh, I'm better than him.
Oh, better? That are you going to allow that?
She is.
Your
dad always says there's no one sharper than me, but you're the sharpest.
I am the sharpest.
I like the pink tube
top. Now. She improved the lighting.
Yeah, so Livers, what's going on with you over the next couple weeks for the summer? Are we going into any concerts, any late night parties in the dorms, even though school's over? What are we doing?
I have a festival in August or September.
What kind of festival?
And then we might go to Pitbull in August.
Yeah, I might go.
Oh, Pitbull sucks. What? No, I mean, whatever. He's just boring. Where's the festival?
Ben Franklin Parkway in Philly.
Who's in it?
Do you know Bad Bunny?
Of course.
Yeah, he's gonna be there.
Is your dad know Bad Bunny?
No, a bunch of artists.
Give me a couple names. What's it called? What's the festival called?
It's called Made in America.
Well, Livers, you missed out because I think you saw when I was in Vegas last time for my birthday a couple weeks ago. I went to EDC Vegas, which is like the biggest festival. You would have the best time with me because you would have had some crazy outfit on like all these girls did, and it went till like 6:30 in the morning.
Oh, I know. I saw. That was insane.
All right, Livers, take care of yourself. Sports Handicapper Chip Lover. You gonna go see Bad Bunny with Livers?
Yeah, no, but Pitbull's my favorite.
Now I'm not a big. Listen, he's whatever. Pitbull is like, I don't know. I'm very surprised you like Pitbull.
It's Mr. 305, buddy.
Who is your? Oh, so anyway, back to my thing. Are you aware of the movie? It's called Hustle. Adam Sandler. You know, Maxie's in it. Tobias Harris. There's a million. Kenny Smith. There's a million NBA players. But it's about Adam Sandler. He's a scout for the Sixers. And his goal is he really wants to become an assistant coach, but there's like no better scouts than him. He's one of the best scouts in the business. And he travels all around the world to find, European and international players. And it's about them bringing this guy to Philly. And I don't want to give anything away, but it's really cool. And they filmed the thing in Philly. So it's like you got to watch it. You'll notice they went to Pat's Cheesesteaks. They went everywhere. Okay.
I'm going to have to say it. I'm not my son, Adam Sandler, he's made a couple good movies. Most of them stink.
Oh, Sandler's great.
But
listen, you'll really appreciate this. He's getting a lot of praise for his, turn in this movie. And actually, Hermagadaz, the jazz player, he plays the main guy that's being, I don't want to say recruited, but it's being scouted to come to the NBA. It's really a very, very cool movie. If you like NBA or basketball, you're going to love the movie. So it premiered.
I'm going to have to watch it. And it's a miracle that he actually filmed it in the city.
And he was on Fallon the other night, and he said nothing but love to Philly. They were the best. He feels like it's a second home. It premiered in the theaters on June 3rd, but it's on Netflix. It was on Netflix last night. It came out at midnight.
Oh, really? I have to watch it on Netflix.
Check it out and let me know what you think.
I'm just amazed that he actually filmed the movie in Philly and he's alive to talk about it.
That's the thing. I think that's why he said, shout out to Philly. I love him. Because I think he was maybe surprised that he didn't get, attacked somehow. Now, Philly's a good city, and we love that you're from the city.
Not anymore, it isn't. The place I used to hang down in Philly in South Street. There was 14 people shot over the weekend.
I know, dude. There's people getting shot everywhere. Let's stay positive on this show, though. I don't want to get depressed. Before we get out of here, parting shot for you, Sealy McNeely. Any cheesesteaks coming up today? Any ribs?
I had a hot roasted pork sandwich today. No steaks.
Ooh, where from?
Around the corner. Good place.
Salad.
The rolls they bring in from South Philly.
Ooh, I love those South Philly rolls. When I come to visit you and swim in the pool, we're gonna go to that pork place.
I didn't know you like roasted pork.
What? I mean, we're both great Jews. Of course I do.
Oh, okay.
All right, what do you got for a parting shot?
Parting shot. Here's a parting shot. The funniest man in Congress yesterday, the senator. You know who I'm talking about. Who's the funniest senator out there? John Kennedy.
Yeah, he is. He's hilariously stupid sometimes, though.
They were asking about the gas prices, and he said, in Louisiana, it's cheaper to get cocaine and run everywhere than fill up your tank with gas.
I didn't see that he said that. It's actually pretty funny. Did he really say that?
He said that on TV. He said it's cheaper to get cocaine down here and just run everywhere.
Oh, my God. Fucking John Kennedy. All right, Seal, we love you. Jamie will be back next week. Our man Starsky as well. I will just tell all of you, as I always like to say, be grateful for what you got. We are living in a crazy time, but we can still have tons of fun, make some cash. Check out sportshandicapper.com. Check out scratchcaddy.com. The champ is here. Seal, are you going to get the ring soon? Some point?
They're going to a different. My friend Mr. Pig talked to Jay Cornegie at the.
Yeah, how is Mr. Pig?
He's okay. He's playing poker right now at Parks, and he called Jay actually today, and they had to go to a different ring maker because the place they usually get the ring from is supply chain issues. So they had to go to another company.
We love Piglet. We'll have to get Piglet on the show one of these days.
He actually said to Jay, he said, Seal's waiting for his ring. And Jay said, who's Seal?
Seal, what do you mean? He didn't have to say Seal.
I won the Westgate.
Well, because he doesn't know you as Seal. He knows you as sportshandicapper.com.
I know. I'm kidding.
If you would have said sportshandicapper.com's waiting for his ring. Oh, Seal. All right. That's going to do it for us today. Great job by you, Seal, sportshandicapper.com. I'm Dan Leach, the Squatch, telling you to keep reaching for the stars, believe in the dream. We'll see you next time on the Sports Edge, powered by sportshandicapper.com. We love you all. Bye to one and all. Livers and onions. We love her, Mrs. Seal, Minnie Seal, all of you. Peace.